Job was a good man, known far and wide for his unwavering faith and integrity. He was blameless and upright, a beacon of righteousness in his community. He feared God and shunned evil, always striving to live a life that was pleasing to the Almighty. Job was also incredibly wealthy, with vast lands, numerous livestock, and abundant resources. He had everything a person could want, from material wealth to social standing. A loving family, many possessions, and a deep faith in God that guided his every action. Job lived a blessed life, filled with joy and prosperity. He was grateful for all that he had, always acknowledging the source of his blessings. Job never took his blessings for granted. Understanding that they were gifts from God, he knew that they came from God, and he remained humble and thankful. One day Satan appeared before God, seeking to challenge Job's faith. He challenged God, saying that Job was only righteous because he had a good life filled with blessings. Satan claimed that if Job lost everything, he would curse God and abandon his faith. God allowed Satan to test Job to see if his faith would endure through hardship. However, he forbade Satan from harming Job physically, ensuring his life would be spared. Job remained faithful to God even as he faced unimaginable loss and suffering. He refused to curse him, holding on to his integrity and trust in God's plan. Job said, "The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." His faith remained unshaken. Job's life changed quickly and dramatically. He lost all his wealth, his livestock died, his servants were killed. His once prosperous lands were now barren and empty. Worst of all, his children died too. The grief was unimaginable, all in a single day. Job was devastated. His heart was shattered. He tore his clothes and shaved his head in mourning, a sign of his deep sorrow and despair. Despite his immense pain, Job did not sin. He didn't blame God. His faith remained unshaken. Job's friends came to comfort him, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. They traveled from afar. They were shocked by Job's suffering. They could hardly recognize him. They sat with him in silence for 7 days and nights. Their presence was their way of showing support. They didn't know what to say. Words seemed inadequate. They had never seen anyone suffer so much. Their hearts ached for their friend. After a while, Job's friends began to offer their opinions on his situation. They believed that Job must have sinned to deserve such punishment. They urged him to repent and seek God's forgiveness. Job maintained his innocence. He insisted he had done nothing wrong. Job questioned God's justice. He couldn't understand why he was suffering. Job's friends tried to reason with him. They argued that God is just. He punishes the wicked and rewards the righteous. Job refused to accept their arguments. He was angry and confused. Finally, God responded to Job, breaking the silence that had weighed heavily on him. He spoke from a whirlwind, a powerful and awe-inspiring display of his presence. God asked Job, "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Who determined its measurements? Surely you know." God reminded Job of his power and sovereignty, illustrating the vastness of his creation. Job was humbled. He realized that he was a finite being, questioning an infinite God whose wisdom and understanding are beyond human comprehension. Job repented of his questioning, acknowledging his limitations and the greatness of God. He acknowledged God's greatness and his own limited understanding, submitting to God's will. God rebuked Job's friends for their wrong accusations and misguided counsel, showing that they had not spoken the truth about him. God blessed Job for his faithfulness, rewarding him for his steadfastness and trust. He restored Job's fortunes twofold, giving him more than he had before his trials began. Job lived a long and prosperous life after that, surrounded by his family and blessed with abundance. The story of Job teaches us about faith in the face of suffering, showing that even in our darkest moments there is hope. Even when we don't understand, we can trust in God's goodness and sovereignty, knowing that He has a plan for us. Job's story reminds us that God is with us in our suffering, providing comfort and strength. He will never leave us or forsake us, and His love endures forever.